There are many places I would recommend in Northern Ireland, but here are my top 5 sites not to miss. If I don't mention your favorite, leave it in the comments so others can see. The first 3 places are along the northern coast, starting with the Carrick-a-Rede Bridge. This is a really cool experience. I try not to spend a lot of money on places we go, but this was worth the cost, and it wasn't that expensive. Make sure you check the weather and book your ticket in advance. It will tell you how many spots are left when you select a day, so you can monitor it to make sure you don't miss out on the day you want to go. They will close the bridge during high winds and bad weather. We had to wait and go the following day because the weather was bad. We took the earliest time slot to avoid the crowds. There's only one way on and off, so when it's busy, it could take a while for your turn to cross. My biggest advice is to arrive early to all the places I mention, as they are popular and can get crowded pretty quickly. There is a little bit of a walk to the bridge, but it offers beautiful scenery, and it's mostly flat until you get near the bridge. It does get a little more hilly, and you go down some steps. And remember, you get to go back up those steps too. The bridge was built to be used to cross over for fishing, and there's still a really neat fishing house, but you can't go down into it, but you can see it from the trail. When you get back, you can get a printed certificate, and there is a nice cafe to get something to eat. I had a very delicious cheesy grilled cheese. Definitely worth a visit. The next one on my list is only a 5-minute drive away. Ballintoy Harbor. I loved this spot. It was one of my favorites from our whole trip. You wind down the hill and come upon something that looks like it should be in a movie. And sure enough, it was in the Game of Thrones. There are actually quite a few places in Northern Ireland that are the setting for the Game of Thrones. If you want the full list of all the filming locations, I'll leave a link in the description. What makes Ballintoy Harbor so picturesque is all the unique scenery, like the boathouse and the rugged rocks along the coast in the water. It's a beautiful coastline and has quite a bit of parking. We got there just in time as some bad weather was moving into the area. I enjoyed watching the dark clouds roll in. This was the day we were supposed to go to the carrick-a-rede Bridge in the afternoon. And we made a good decision because it did end up closing. The Ballintoy Harbor is such a cool spot and one you have to add to your itinerary. We stayed in the town of Portrush while we were in the area, and it was a cute little town and quite busy as we were there during the bank holiday. Just 15 minutes away by car is my next spot, which is one of the most iconic sites of Northern Ireland. If you guessed Giant's Causeway, then you are right. This is one of those places you have to see while you are in Northern Ireland. I'm not always one for the touristy places. In fact, I try to stay away from them. But this one I knew I had to go to, so we made sure to go earlier in the day to avoid the crowds. We parked at the hotel instead of the visitor center to save a little bit of money. It was busier than I expected, but it was a Saturday of the bank holiday weekend at the end of October. There seemed to be waves of people due to the tours. So if you wait a little bit in between the tours, you could have the area to yourself. It's a nice 15 to 20 minute walk down to the famous stones. You can take a couple different routes. We did just the traditional way that the shuttle takes you, and it wasn't too bad of a walk as it was paved the whole way until you reach the rocks. But you can take the shuttle for £1 each way. It was a very cool experience, but the rocks were way more slippery than I expected, so mind your step. You can also walk further past the stones as far as you would like. We had other places to go, so we only went to the stones. The total time from when we got there to when we left was about 2 hours. If you want more information, you can watch my video on Giant's Causeway, which I will link in the description. While you are in this area, there are a lot of other places to check out, like the Dark Hedges or Dunluce Castle. Moving out of this area is the next site on my top 5. Glenariff Woods Park. There are many hikes in this park that offer stunning vista views, as well as several waterfalls along the river. I absolutely loved the waterfall hike. The greens were so vibrant, and it was fall, so there were orange leaves everywhere. There's a boardwalk trail that you hike along the river, and it's just a magical place full of rich foliage. When you reach the bottom of the trail, there is a restaurant to get a bite to eat before trekking back to the top where your car is parked. We happened to arrive at the perfect time as a rainbow came over the whole view of the glen. It was so beautiful and created an image you would put on a postcard for Ireland. Number 5 on my list is Londonderry Dairy. This is a must-see place. It's referred to as the Walled City. There is so much history within these walls. You could easily spend the entire day taking in the murals, actually walking on the wall, and reading about the historical monuments. We were there Halloween weekend, so everything was decorated for the festivities of the Halloween capital of Ireland. If you're in Northern Ireland, those are my top 5 places that I think you need to see for sure. Leave a comment with your favorite places that you've visited in Northern Ireland. Happy travels!